I want to bring on a special guest. We have here Gina today. Gina, I'm going to pin you so we can see you. And Gina is a graduate of my academy. So, welcome, Gina.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about your journey in the academy. Like, what motivated you to join? What was your life before the academy?
I've always had a lot of problems. I have autoimmune issues. So I always had a lot of joint pain, swelling, fatigue, low energy, and I've had those problems for years. Um, and it wasn't so much to lose weight, but I saw your one of your summits. My doctor referred me to the summit, and I saw you speak, and um, I thought that maybe if I had worked with you, I might be able to get more energy. I was coming home from work and I would get in the shower. I barely could make it through my shower after
Mm.
work. And then I was done. I was done. I had no energy to enjoy, my hobbies, my grandchildren, even just clean my house. And that weighed on me mentally
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure that took an emotional toll on you. Absolutely.
and even socially, your friends and your family, they get tired of hearing you say, no, no, I can't come, And so I could see that it was, having a detrimental effect in a lot of areas, and I wanted to do something.
So your story is a little bit different because it wasn't really weight release, although you said you had a couple of pounds to release. It was more the energy factor. And there's a lot of women who struggle with that low energy as well. And so can probably completely relate to your story. So now you're in the academy. Tell me what's happening for you when you're joining the academy. And the first thing we do is we work on what you're eating and how you're eating. So what
hmm
impact did that have on you?
That had a great impact on me because over the years, I'm like everybody else. I read all these things on the internet, and maybe you shouldn't eat this, and maybe you shouldn't eat that. And I was unnecessarily you know, not eating different things just to see what would happen, not knowing. And so when I worked with you and I was able to really find out what are the things that are causing my inflammation, to flare up and to cause me all these problems, I was able to come up with an eating plan that I knew I felt comfortable that I was eating things that were
Hmm.
good for my body and not restricting things that didn't need to be restricted anymore. And so I think it just made me a lot more relaxed about food and eating and then I also lost weight. I lost weight and that was a great side, effect of
Hmm.
the whole
Yeah,
program.
I remember you told me you were kind of blessed that you're like, oh, by the way, I released 5 pounds and stopped binge eating. Like that was a
Yeah.
secondary to you. It was really the energy. So what impact? So we found that you did have some food intolerances,
hmm
or you, and take us back to that where we were doing that part of the program, the metabolism jumpstart, and you're finding out your food intolerances.
Yeah.
What impact did those foods have on your body?
So one thing that I was shocked about was eggs because I ate eggs all the time because I thought, it's good protein and
Yeah.
so, but when I did that metabolism jumpstart and I added the egg back in, I was sick to my stomach. I had headaches,
Mm.
and my nose is a little stuffy today because I have a cold, but my nose would run, and I was shocked, really surprised. So it was really helpful because I would have just kept eating eggs,
Yeah.
and thinking that that was good for me. And I was not eating things that I probably, could have been eating. Um,
Yeah.
I really, doing that whole metabolism jumpstart, like I said, really made me feel more comfortable with, yeah, I really shouldn't be eating this. It's not good for me. It might be
Hmm.
good for other people, but it's not great for me. And so I should try to, avoid
Yeah.
this without wondering.
Yeah, and I know
Yeah.
at one point you were kind of surprised that your autoimmune symptoms were a little bit exacerbated when you with a food intolerance. When you're like, "Oh my gosh, didn't realize that How helpful was that to know that that food can exacerbate your autoimmune symptoms?
Mentally, it was a big thing for me because, like I think it was Karen said that when you're so focused on sugar, then you really want sugar more. Well, I had been for years doing that with different things, and so to know finally these are actually the things that,
Yeah.
are causing you, these cause you a problem. You can see it. You saw that it really mentally made me more relaxed about eating and food and I have to say with the sugar because I've done the cut the sugar before
Hmm.
at least once if not several times just to reboot.
Yeah.
But after a while, I found I didn't even want like I would look at the sugary stuff and be like, "Ugh, really don't even.
It's so amazing when you're eating for
Yeah,
your body. You're like, oh, okay. Or
yeah.
no, exacerbation, no, don't want that. Yeah. Your
And I
body
could,
just naturally tells you.
yes, and I could tell you that, since the program, which I think I started 3 or 4 years ago now,
Yeah.
when I have indulged in a lot of sugar, I could see that if I felt bad, my joints would hurt. And so you could really see the effects of it.
Your body is
Yeah,
more
right
able
there.
to give you those symptoms now that you've
Yeah.
cleaned up your body. Awesome. So autoimmune symptoms significantly decrease. You got your how take us to where you got you're like, I got my energy back. That first time where you notice, oh my gosh, I'm not burnt out with low energy. How was that for you?
Yeah, I think it was uh it made me want to cry really because, I was able to I came home from work, took my shower, and I actually felt like, yeah, let me get some stuff done around here. And I would babysit for my granddaughter, and I would want to do it and I would want to be with her, but I could hear myself being irritable with her.
Mm,
I could hear myself,
yeah.
not enjoying time that I was spending with her. So, the first time I was just able to really enjoy it and not get irritable. And it was very, I don't know, it just made me very happy to get to that point. So yeah, I appreciated it. I appreciated all the things that it helped me achieve.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like when you were telling me, oh, by the way, this is it causing exacerbation. Oh, I recovered faster though.
Yes, yes. And you do, absolutely. When you do eat things or, do things that, you really shouldn't be, you are able to get back on track and you are able to resolve those problems faster for
That's
sure.
so amazing. So, like that was the main thing for you was definitely the food, learning what foods are that your body thrives on. But then we also talk about stress, sleep, and some mindset component. I'm
Mhm.
curious because I really haven't asked Gina this question myself. Of the rest of the curriculum, what do you feel like was the best for you? Like you really enjoyed it or it made a really big difference in your life?
I think the thing that was hardest for me,
Hmm.
it was the hardest thing for me to implement, but now I find it helps me more than probably anything else is the mindset, the breathing, when you feel stressed, the breathing techniques. Um, and, I have some recordings that you had
Hmm.
suggested that I use when I'm really stressed out, gratitude journaling, so many things that, we talked about. And those things are really helpful for me, really helpful. And
Awesome.
I have to say, that's one thing that I really was, another eye-opening thing for me was it's, there's so many other aspects
Hmm.
to getting healthy and losing weight other than just what you eat and how much activity you do. And it was mind blowing every week after week, learning a new step and layering on a
Hmm.
a strategy. It was really, really interesting to see that it's so much more than that.
Yeah, so now you have a whole toolbox full of strategies and techniques that you can pull out at any time and utilize for whatever life is thrown at you, right?
Right, right.
Awesome. So if there's someone out there, women out there that's like, oh, I don't know, I've tried programs in the past, what would you tell her about the academy?
I would say I've tried a lot of programs, in the past just to, stay healthy with my health issues, try to be as healthy as I can. And they weren't really livable. I mean,
Mm.
I could do them for a short amount of time. I did at one point, I did when I just turned 50, I was like, okay, I got to be healthy. And I did like beach body videos and I
Mhm.
was killing myself. And it wasn't a livable thing to do. Even my kids, my adult kids were like, Ma, come on, you can't do that. You can't do that every day. And
Oh my.
so I've done a lot, I've done different things and they weren't livable. And I found that this program for me has been the most livable one and I'm not overwhelmed. The way you parse out the information and you layer on the strategies, I find that that was not overwhelming for me. And, just you saying, you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You just have to be a little better and get a little better and a little better. And so that helped me a lot. Um, I used to just mess up and be like, oh, well, that's it. I might as well just, and
Typical, which we all tend to do, right? Human.
yeah, yes. So, yeah, it fit into my life. I felt it was doable. I didn't feel like if I messed up, that was it. Um, so, and to be honest, I questioned whether to join at first, and then I talked to my husband, and he said, you're spending so much time and energy and money and everything else on all these
Yeah.
doctors. If this will help you, then you should do it. And he encouraged me to try, and I found it to be really helpful. And it's, maintained me now for, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 years, but
We're going on four, Gina.
yeah,
Gina's still in my program. She's on the maintenance program as well. She was the one that's like, no, I want to stay with you.
yeah. And I have to say, for the past, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 months or so, I haven't been able to come to the meetings and just
So she
being on
does.
here today. I'm like, oh, I miss coming to this. And, it's really helpful. It really
Yeah, we
reminds
have a
you.
good group, and it's a sisterhood of women. They support each other, encourage each
Yes,
other on the calls
yes.
as well. Thank you so much, Gina, for being here today. All right.